This is Comic Geek Speak, episode 32. Welcome to Comic Geek Speak, episode 32, proud members of the Comics Podcast Network. I'm Brian Deemer.
I'm Adam.
I'm Matt.
Jamie D.
Shane Kelly.
I'm Peter Rios.
And we are Sexy Bitches. As I don't have the sound file queued up, I just realized. Foiled once again. We'll never have a perfect, flawless episode.
That's
it just
the fun
won't
part.
happen.
That's all right. We are like our own Lex Luthors. You realize that, don't you?
Yeah, we're our own worst enemy here. Okay.
So we have to introduce everyone to Adam.
That's right. You heard him on the Batman episode, and he has joined us once again. He will be appearing from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
So, tell us, Adam, we always ask everyone this first question. How did you first get into reading comic books?
Actually, my secret origin, you might say, originally begins with Matt Keener. This man here,
My last name on this.
Oh, I'm sorry. Darn. I blew your secret identity right out of the gate. Yeah, okay. I used to think that comic books were kind of silly, actually. I didn't get started reading them until after I'd become friends with Matt. We were in about 4th or 5th grade, I guess, at the time, or 6th, possibly. And he came to stay with my family down at the Jersey Shore one time. He brought a box of his comics along. He got me to read one of the Fantastic Four issues. I think it might have been from John Byrne's run. Had a picture of a Triceratops chewing on a Fantastic Four costume on the cover. I was about ready to take a shower, and I just sort of casually started browsing through this issue, and I kind of got absorbed in it. My dad came out to find out why I wasn't out of the shower yet. He found me, like, ass naked, face down on his bed, reading this freaking Fantastic Four comic. I couldn't put it down, and I was sort of hooked from then on.
I think that was a Simonson issue. That was actually the first time that I got into reading Fantastic Four, was because of those Simonson issues.
Yeah, I was.
You butt ass naked too?
No, I was not.
No, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm picturing it in my mind, and I'm pretty sure
they went into some other dimension, of course, as there always are, and there were dinosaurs, and yeah. Well, that's a frightening image, Adam.
It's a unique origin.
I'm glad. I'm sorry I asked the question.
If you want the G version, that's how I got started. What kept me going was actually the Infinity War crossover from Marvel.
Whoa.
Yeah,
okay.
Boy, if that keeps going, that's good.
I just like the doppelgangers, like those weird monster versions of all the different heroes.
There's nowhere but up after that.
Yeah, exactly. No wonder you liked comics if you made it through that.
It was almost like my favorite was Secret Wars 2.
Oh. So what'd you hook onto then? Like a character, a team? Was there anything particular? Or?
Well, yeah, after the Infinity War ended and I got all the crossovers and all that, I was kind of looking for an excuse to stay in the game, and so I kind of got into Excalibur. See, Matt, once again, he's my Dr. Frankenstein with this. He let me see his Marvel Universe trading cards, like the first and second series from way back in the day, and I decided I liked Nightcrawler. Just from his physical appearance. Yes, he's still my favorite mutant of all time. So I got into the very tail end of the Alan Davis and Chris Claremont Excalibur run, which I'm still trying to fill a couple holes in my collection of that run. So I just sort of started collecting that. Then I added Darkhawk and a couple other titles, and then when Zero Hour came out from DC, that's how I broke into collecting DC. And now I'm basically an omnivore. In comics, you might say.
That's 5 years behind? That's a great word.
Yeah, I'm a little bit behind in my reading. A master's degree will do that. I am just now getting around to reading stuff that I bought in August of 1999.
Wow.
It's like roughly 3,000 comics backlogged.
Holy mackerel.
So
I don't feel so bad
everything
now.
is new to you.
Well, I sort of skimmed.
We can't say anything.
That's
Holy
cool.
mackerel.
That's all right. Just
Did you know
spoiler away.
Did you know that Superman died and then he came back?
Really? Dude.
Okay, well, I am very pleased to announce that we have another contest.
Woohoo!
We are giving away more free stuff, and this time the contest is courtesy of UpAllNightGaming.com, and they have it's all information about video games and some regular games. They have forums and blogs and all kinds of stuff, just all about games. So it's UpAllNightGaming.com. And here's the contest. We need a byline. Okay, we have Comic Geek Speak, but we don't have a nice little like single phrase that sums it up and makes it sound cool and exciting. Okay, so that's what we need from you. You know, like Comic Geek Speak, we tell you what to think. You know, the thanks to Drew M when he gave us something like that. Like we need a little catchy phrase that sums up our show, and it will make people want to listen based on hearing that phrase. Okay, so we're going to give you until June 30th to email us your phrases. Okay, and what do you win if we pick your phrase as the best one? Well, the grand champion of the whole thing wins a free copy of the City of Heroes computer game, courtesy of UpAllNightGaming.com. And then we will have 5 runners up, and they will receive a T-shirt, a City of Heroes T-shirt, courtesy of UpAllNightGaming.com. And the way we're going to do this is once I get all of the entries, and I mean, people, this is simple. Just write a phrase, email it to us. End of story. You don't have to do any hard work or anything. So I want lots and lots of entries, okay? Once we have them all, I'm going to put them all on the forum, and we're going to have a vote. The users, the listeners who go on the forum, sign up on the forum, can vote. So they will pick their favorite. And then each of us here will pick our favorite, and then we'll all agree on what the absolute best one is. That will be the Grandmaster, the champion that wins the copy of City of Heroes. The other runner-ups, we'll let whoever gets the most votes online will be a runner-up. I mean, they might end up actually being the champion if we all agree too. But the 5 runner-ups will get the T-shirts, and the one that we all agree gets the most votes from us and everything will be the winner of the video game. So it's a pretty simple contest. You have until June 30th.
By the time we air this, that probably will be like a week.
Close, maybe 2-ish.
Maybe a week and a half.
Yeah, something like that. But it doesn't take. It
shouldn't
take
take
that
much
to type a simple line, a tagline.
Good or.
Yes, it should be an original tagline. We don't want to steal any trademarks or anything. That would be bad.
I was like plenty hoes and bitches.
Oh, gee. Melts in your mouth, not in your hands.
Yeah. So, if you want to win free stuff, enter the contest. I'm going to go right into listener emails if that's cool with you guys.
Yeah.
Do it.
We have a hell of a
always
lot
looking for that.
of listener emails. I love the emails. We're getting so many now, and it's great. Okay, we got one from Simon McDonald. He says, "Hey, just dropping you a line from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, to say how much I enjoyed episode 28, and especially discussion on the collapse of the comic book industry during the 90s. Oddly enough, I was already halfway through rereading my hardcover version of Crisis on Infinite Earths when I was listening to episode 28, so I'm looking forward to your new Book of the Month discussion. Keep up the good work, Simon McDonald." So that was real simple, but we're always pleased to hear when people enjoy the show.
That's a perfect segue for just another reminder that we'll be doing our Book of the Month, comic Book of the Month Crisis on Infinite Earths. Probably our next podcast even. Maybe, or
thereabouts.
1 or 2, yeah. It'll be soon. So send us your email, send us your comments, send us a Geek of the Day, send us anything you want, send us trivia questions, all about Crisis. It's going to be chock full of spoilers. It'll be its own special entity, and so start reading if you haven't read it.
Okay, we got another one from, another email from Tikoman. Last time he sent us an email, he sent us to some site that had fan fiction about Powerpuff Girls, and our response was less than overwhelming. So he says, "Here's another interesting site. I guess you're not fans of the Powerpuff Girls, so this one's a little different. It's a list of top courses at Superhero University. My favorite is number 21, Sociology 118, Mortals and Dating. Explore safe ways to achieve intimacy with a mate who is not bulletproof, can't fly, and wasn't built to take the business end of a supersized orgasm. Check it out. It's..." Yeah, that's...
Read that again. That's funny.
Sociology 118, Mortals and Dating. Explore safe ways to achieve intimacy with a mate who is not bulletproof, can't fly, and wasn't built to take the business end of a supersized orgasm.
That's what's funny, the business end.
Yes. So that website is members.aol.com/ohmygoodness. Oh, but there's no E in goodness, and it's just O, not OH/superhero.html. So we'll put a link to that in the show notes, and then you can go check it out. So thank you, Ticoman. This one sounds much better.
Just out of curiosity, where's the Powerpuff fanfic all ages or adults only?
I don't know. I didn't actually go to the site. I have to admit, I didn't click the link. So.
I think that's Peter's alias, because I know he's into that kind of stuff.
Oh. Yeah. All right, here's another one from Ken Stew. He's writing us from Baltimore, Maryland. He says, so I stumbled onto your podcast at the Comics Podcast Network. I threw one of your shows on my MP3 player to check it out at work. Enjoyed that so much, threw a bunch more onto it to check it out the next night to see if the quality of the show stayed the same. Safe to say that I'm now hooked on your show. Only the third podcast of the dozens I've sampled to do so. You all have a nice flow to your shows, and the conversation seems genuine, well thought out, while maintaining a spontaneity that shows you didn't plan everything out beforehand. I say this, and then you say that, and then he says that type of deal. Most important, you're obviously very passionate about comics and Star Wars. That was a great special. That it really comes through. What sold me on your show, however, was the eBay question. I thought you would only talk about it for 3 to 5 minutes. 20 minutes later, I realized you all like to get very in-depth about your topics. That is very true.
Yeah.
I have no interest in selling comics on eBay whatsoever, but I liked how the topic was covered and how it still made it interesting, at least to me. So keep up the great work, and I look forward to listening to future shows. Now on to the question. I would be interested in hearing your top 5 comic runs and why. It can be either mainly writer-driven or writer-artist team-driven. They can be complete runs, i.e. all of Preacher, all of Sandman, all of Bone, or a specific set of issues in a title. The first 12 issues of Authority, first 25 issues of Strangers in Paradise, Morrison's X-Men run. Not looking for specific story arcs, but more for artists and authors who really put their stamps on the book. Sorry if this has been covered already. I've only listened to episode 13 on up in the span of 2 days. Oh holy cow. Wow. Each one of them is an hour, man. You do the math. Is he sleeping? Holy cow. Working my way through the back issue bins later. I would also like your thoughts on the Justice League Unlimited cartoon. They are knee-deep in the middle of a massive storyline that is some of the best fun and intriguing DC-based stuff I've ever seen. It has totally eclipsed Countdown to Identity Crisis as far as I'm concerned. Any of the CGS guys and gals watch this fantastic tune? Kenny from Baltimore. Oh, he says, P.S. Jamie rules, if for nothing else because he sounds a lot like the dude who directed Hellboy, Guillermo del Toro.
Well, thank you very much. Cool. Yes, muchas gracias. Christ, I don't know what to say. I'm so embarrassed. I have a fan. Jeez. Well, thank you. No, and well thought out. That made me just laugh out loud because this isn't as well thought out as you think. This is This is truly off the top of our head.
I think he was saying that he likes our show better because we don't have it all well thought out and planned ahead.
No, he said he liked it because it sounded well thought out.
Oh, really? Oh, then I totally misread the thing. Yeah. But he does say he doesn't like it. It doesn't sound scripted. Okay,
and he's definitely right. We're not scripted.
Yeah, God knows.
Or edited. That's for sure.
No, everything goes right into it. But if we're gonna do, how are you gonna do?
Do the runs?
Runs
first? Do some runs?
I have a list.
I don't know. I don't have 5 written down, but I can just shoot a couple from the hip. And
now I'd like to do it real quick because I actually have my niece's birthday party to get to, so I can't be here all day. But if my top 5, we always talk about it. Starman from James Robinson, best series from beginning to end. Very few clunkers along the way. Unfortunately, in his letter, he put most all of mine in it. Bone, again, from beginning to end. The one book. To me, I look at books, and I was thinking about this last night. I was reading some books. I read crap.
You read
crap?
I didn't read crap. But I read a book and I put it down and it was like, damn it, I want the next book. I don't want to wait a freaking the Flash. That's what it was. It was the most recent Flash, top on the cover, and it was like, damn it, I want the next book. And to me, that's the ones I mention right now are the ones that when I got done with the issue in my hand, God damn it, I wanted the next issue on top of my pile. And that's Starman was like that. Bone was definitely like that. And what killed me about Bone was he would put it out once every 2 to 3 months. So it would take me 3 months for the next book to come out. So those are two. Walt Simonson's run on Thor. I recommend that highly to anybody who reads comics, who wants a good superhero comic. John Byrne's run on the Fantastic Four. I've already talked about it many, many, many times. Best, even some people say it's sacrilegious to say it's better than the Stan Lee, Jack Kirby run, but it just was. I thought he just added so much more to certain characters, made characters. We had just been talking off the air about our favorite villains, and my favorite villain is Victor Von Doom, and it's because of John Byrne taking a one-dimensional character in Victor Von Doom and turning him into a three-dimensional character who I cared about, who I saw the pain. I saw his pain. I understood where he was coming from. I understood why he did what he did. And it was just, I thought, great. And the fifth, oh, Lord, I had these down. I can't. I keep trying to think of the fifth. What he just mentioned, Strangers in Paradise. Another great book. If you're out there and you want your girlfriend, wife, or just a female friend to understand why you're in comic books and why you like comic books, buy that for them. Read it yourself and then give it to them, and I swear they will understand why you like sequential art and what it means to you, because that is just such a good series written by a guy. Main characters are women, and if you read those letter pages in the back, there are so many women that just say, how do you write this? Because you hit this so dead on. You hit a female character so dead on. They just don't understand how he does it, and he does. He does. Two female characters are the main characters, and it's one of the best books. I look forward to it each month, and those are my top 5.
Cool. And I'm just going to clarify a run, just in our minds. 12 issues is not a run. I don't consider that a run. Does anybody agree with that? That's a year. That's not a run.
It should be years.
It should be at least 2 years,
13
I think.
yes, 12 no.
No, I think like
I need a baker's dozen, please.
Yeah.
Because that's just a storyline to me. That's not a run. A run is like something that, they're investing time in.
Jack Kirby, Stan Lee, 100
issues. Yeah. Peter David's Hulk for how many years?
But then you take like Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale on all their Batman series. That's a couple years worth of stuff that since they revisit the genre, so.
But it's not necessarily.
It's not the same run.
Story. Yeah.
Well, let's go by according to Ken's question. What he's asking us, he says, or a specific set of issues in a title, such as the first 12 issues of Authority, which of course are very different from the next 12 issues because the creative team completely changes.
Bye,
Adios,
Jamie.
Jamie.
See you, Jamie.
So, I mean, if we're going to play by his rules, since he's asking the question, then that's fair. Now, none of my answers involve only 12 issues.
Yeah, we probably
No,
all.
when we talked about that, I cut out, but I had a couple 12-issue runs of things that I was going to put in, but I did it the other way.
Well, I'm going to just pull a Comic Geek on it and saying that's not a run. 12 issues just is not a run. It's a storyline.
But it depends on the title. Like, he brings up Authority, so I'm going to go with Authority. First 12 issues, Warren Ellis creates the Authority,
right.
and how Brian Hitch draws it. And it was really cool and everything.
After that...
But then Tasha's making toast.
Yeah,
that smells good.
But then Mark Miller comes on, and now Authority rocks. Okay, and he only did it for 12 issues. Authority kept going beyond that. But to me, Authority is the Mark Miller run. I don't care about the Warren Ellis run. I don't care about
blasphemy.
I mean, I like it. It's good,
so.
And it sets up the characters. And if you don't read it, you're a little confused. But it's not nearly as good as the Mark Miller run. That just kicks it into high gear. And I went. So to me, that is Authority. Those Mark Miller issues are Authority. So And Authority, it's still being published, but like, who cares about it
Yeah,
now?
it's
No one
not-
even
it's-
cares.
yeah.
As soon as Mark Miller was done, the book was over, as
Yeah.
far as I'm concerned. So you only have like a 24 issue run, but it's two completely different things. So that 12 issues is a run. You know,
And I stopped after that. I read the first 2 runs, and that's what I consider Authority is both of
I think
those.
they need to come
beyond
up with
that.
another. Like I always think of like Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee on Batman's Hush. Like it's like a definitive story. You know, it's like a definitive,
Now, see though,
not
if they
definitive
would
take,
come
but
back
you know what I mean. Like,
and continue the story like they sort of had
but
planned.
that's not a run. It's interrupted. That to me, a run should not be interrupted. That's the first thing.
Oh,
It
I
shouldn't be interrupted.
can agree with you to a certain extent, but there has to be room for that in some context because they keep revisiting a character.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well,
Because
let
I
me-
think that's why. I think that, like what Jamie was saying, why he liked John Byrne's Fantastic Four so much and all those other ones, because they were consistent. You know. So,
All right.
but
Well, let
I'm
me-
just throwing that out there.
let me go on with my list.
Go ahead.
I took a couple off my list because Jamie already said them.
I know.
Now I'm leaving Starman on because I mean we can only talk about Starman. I mean it doesn't matter how many times we talk about it. It freaking kicks ass. So Starman is in my top 5. Christ Almighty!
Cell phones off.
Yeah, it's like the movie theater here, you bastard. I'm gonna put one out there, and you want to run? I'm giving you Marvel's Gru. 125 issues, same writer, same artist, same inker, same colorist, same letterer. The whole freaking team
That's a hell of a run.
is exactly the same. So, that's 125 issues. Everybody's the same. So, and you know me, I love Gru, so Gru. I'm going to say Preacher because the whole damn thing is just good start to finish. I'm going to throw out Cerebus. I haven't finished reading Cerebus, but I'm like more than halfway through Cerebus. I need to get some of the new trades now. Just incredible. What the hell are you doing?
That's Matt.
Jesus,
Matt's
almighty.
phone is talking to us.
And then I'm going to throw one more, and I'm going to say Shade the Changing Man. The newer series, because there was like
Peter
an
Milligan.
old one or whatever.
Steve
right?
Ditko.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not the Steve Ditko. I'm talking the
Peter Milligan.
Peter Milligan run. Thank you. Yeah. And Chris Pacello got his first real noticeable work done on that, and he's a superstar now. And I love that series. So
That's good.
All right. I'll go with Jeff Johns' Flash, but I could do so many with Jeff Johns, so that's really just like picking one out of like half a dozen. And
That's
a lot
the
of
one
my,
that I think is more personal to him.
yeah,
though,
yeah. And it reads that way. I Jamie of Earth 2 emailed him one time and threw me his email, and I emailed him about Flash, and we had this nice couple email back and forth banter about it. So it was kind of fun.
How come we ain't getting that email? Share the
I don't know,
love.
that was
What's
like a
going
year
on
ago,
here?
man. I don't know. That was well before we started this.
Got to do our Jeff Johns interview then.
Yeah.
what the heck?
Did you hear that he just got, not to interrupt, but he got promoted? Like they're creating a title for him.
Yeah, he's
No,
like a
no.
crisis consultant now.
Yeah, like
Oh, wow.
because he's like basically the one that everybody has to go through, or he has to go to everybody because he's writing Infinite Crisis, and they're because I think in the interview or the article it said something like because he's going to have a lot of hours at home to think about this, they decided he can't do this for free,
Right.
so they created a whole new thing for
Nice.
him. And
That's
I,
cool.
I was
Excellent.
like, whoa, he's really like the man to be.
Yeah. I'm going to throw out, although I haven't read a lot of I have most of them, and I still have to get buckled down to read them, is Wolfman Perez Teen Titans, which I'm pretty sure they'd be on Peter's list. I'm going with Grant Morrison's JLA run, just for my affection for JLA. Starman, James Robinson again. Like everyone says, you can't talk about that enough. And Giffen McGuire, DeMatteis Justice League
Of
from
course.
'87. Man,
Of course.
that's my top favorite. That was fun.
Cool. I'll go next. Boy, now everybody
all
said,
off.
yeah,
Yeah, repeats are fine.
All right.
Let me just say, I said I took some off my list just to make room. The ones I took off were the Byrne FF and the Simonson Thor, because I agree with Jamie, they're just classics.
I took off Claremont's X-Men run the first time around.
For me, I'll start with ones that haven't been said. Christopher Priest's Black Panther run. It's about 60 issues or something like that, maybe a little bit more. The first 50 are the ones that deal with T'Challa, and they're just, if you want it really is like Marvel's version of Batman, and I wish Christopher Priest would come over and write Batman, because I would actually buy a Batman book if he wrote it. So that's Christopher Priest, Black Panther. I have down the 5 years later Legion of Superheroes run, which started. It was by Keith Giffen and Tom and Mary Bierbaum. I guess that's their name. They met each other as Legion fans, like in the letter columns or something, like way back, and then they grew up to write Legion, which I thought was cool. 5 years later, Legion run happened after the Baxter run ended, and it took all the Legion lore and all the history and it pushed it 5 years ahead of time, and just it became this huge, sprawling story that I think any character that or any universe that has this many all these characters in all these places, that's how they should write the book. I think that's how they should write X-Men. They should write X-Men like that, where it's this huge, sprawling story, different locales and characters and whatnot. So that's that one. I have to put down, I guess, the Wolfman Perez New Teen Titans run, of course. I'll take Starman off my list, even though he's on there. I'll take him off, and I'll substitute him with Alan Moore's Swamp Thing, which really redefined the DC universe. I figured you would go there. Yeah, redefined the DC universe for the late '80s, and especially for Vertigo. Like I was going to put Sandman, but I went, you know what? If I'm going to put Sandman, I really should put Swamp Thing, because that's really where all that came from. And because you put down Morrison's JLA, I'll put down Morrison's Animal Man. Those first 26 issues. They are just really a lot of fun in a time in comics when comics were dark. He kind of was saying, "What? No, they're superheroes. They should be fun." And he introduced all these new things. A new Mirror Master. He introduced the
new Bwana Beast.
The new Bwana Beast, which didn't last long. Beast, Seeds of Hyper Time, a second Crisis. Mm-hmm. It was really kind of neat. So I'll put that. So that's Animal Man. What do I got? One more? Oh, no, that's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's it. Anybody else?
You want to go next, or should I?
Well, I would say I really probably two that come to my head would definitely be Doug Mensch doing the first Moon Knight series. That was great. And I have to agree with the Justice League, the Grant Morrison. Those were the best. Justice League, Grant Morrison, they were the best. All right, that's pretty much it.
Okay. I guess I might as well just start by throwing my hat into the Starman ring there. I have just about all the issues of that. Anything that involves DC history in any capacity is just okay in my book. And from there, I'd like to agree with you that just about anything by Jeff Johns is worth a look. So I'm going to say his run on JSA has been pretty phenomenal.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The whole entire, even though he didn't write it from the very beginning, the whole entire JSA series has been excellent.
Yeah. I liked his Hawkman stuff. I wish he would have stayed on it a little bit longer. Even though I'm enjoying what's going on, it still would have been nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Morales art wasn't bad either.
Yeah.
Okay, well, sticking with the Golden Age trend, I'm also very close, near and dear to my heart is going back to the 80s, the Roy Thomas run on All-Star Squadron.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I just managed to piece together a full run of that over a bunch of years, and it just explained so much, like how all these different little random Golden Age stories written by dozens of different people ultimately tied together. He brought it into a cohesive state. He basically invented retcon. I think he was. I think he credited some fan he met at a convention with actually making up the term retcon, retroactive continuity. But in practice, I think he's the one who pretty much invented it, and I just really enjoy what he did with that. And
that's a huge run, and it's so chock full of information, and it's so good. Yeah. And most of the times you can find them in a 50-cent bin, which is really a shame.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
That's where I scrounge most of mine.
Yeah, same here.
Okay, fine. I'll take them.
I see them again, and I almost feel bad, like I should buy them again, because I don't want to just sit here and let nobody just sit there forever.
The other thing. Oh yeah, I mentioned a little bit ago that it was the Alan Davis and Chris Claremont issues of Excalibur that sort of kept me in collecting after the ever popular Infinity War ended. I just liked how it was the most fun of the mutant titles. I think at that time he actually used some humor. I really enjoyed Nightcrawler in that, and I fell in love with Kitty Pryde reading those issues, and I still haven't quite gotten over it. It was wonderful. I have kind of a soft spot for the Jerry Conway issues of JS Justice League from back in like the late 70s. Like,
Oh, I thought you were going to go the Detroit era.
no, not those. No,
I
I'm
love
talking
those. I'm the only one I think that loves
I think you are. That's why we keep hoping you're going to do Vibe for Halloween, man.
Or North Star.
No, I think, Vibe, break it down for us one time.
Paco Ramon.
Go Ramon.
Paco.
Yes.
I think a run that you sort of touched on it, Shane, that deserves to be mentioned is the Chris Claremont, John Byrne Uncanny X-Men run. To me, that is the X-Men. That's if you only need to read a handful of X-Men comics ever in your life, those are the ones you should seek out.
I'm so disdained by what's happened in the X-Men the last even 20 years since I've been reading X-Men on and off that I haven't, but I might go back and get those traded, whatever it is.
Essentials, man. Essentials Volume 2.
Anything, because...
And Part of 3, I think, are those issues.
I can't stand... I mean, I don't have most of those issues, but it's horrible what X-Men has become lately.
Yeah, it was so simple in those days. It was one X book. You didn't have to have any crossovers. And month to month, the storyline actually continued, and the first page of the next one continued more or less, where the last page of the last one continued. It wasn't like 3 weeks later in a different city, and you're like, what the hell is happening? You know, it made sense. John Byrne's artwork was at its prime, and the stories were just good.
It's set up so much that, they keep dipping back into that run.
Yeah.
Right.
Every element.
I'll even say I have such a little chip on my shoulder when Joe Quesada first took over and said, I'm going to streamline X-Men, pare it down, and all it's done is explode into like a bazillion books.
I know. They need to have the balls to just cut everything except for Uncanny X-Men and go right back to their roots. That's what absolutely needs to happen. It never will, but if someone ever wants to do X-Men justice, that's what they need to do.
Yeah.
Another run that I'll give is, it's not necessarily a run because it kind of... Well, no, because back then the mentality wasn't that way. They just did their job. Like Peter David on the Hulk to me is a man doing his job. You know what I mean? Same thing with Jeff Johns on JSA. But the Mike W. Barr, Jim Aparo, Batman and the Outsiders. God, was that a good book? That was so good. Even the letter pages in that book was good because Mike W. Barr used to respond himself, and they would get into some pretty touchy things every now and then. And then it went over to the Baxter run, and they didn't last much longer on that as a team. But that was my that's where I got my Batman fix. Was Batman and the Outsiders.
I have to say, to my list, I'd also add the Jeff Loeb on Superman Batman. To me, that's the best book out there right now. I just you got the two most iconic characters in DC, and it's just nice to see the interaction between the two, the storylines. For the most part, I think have been excellent, and that's one of those that when I'm done reading, if it's a multi-part story, which they pretty much all are, I want the next part right away. I want to know what continues on with the story.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw G.I. Joe's, Marvel G.I. Joe comics. Larry Hama did all of them, and that's where I started mine with actually the silent issue, which amazed me because I opened it up and like, what's this? There's no words in it. But I kept going with it, and I didn't read much past like the 80s, 90s. I left like the last 25 when he became Snake Eyes Ninja type. Then I kind of left off it, but that's an incredible run. He wrote all the file cards for all the action figures plus all the storylines. It's incredible that he did it.
God, we could keep going. Peter David's 25 issues of Aquaman.
Yeah.
That like up to that issue, that kind of concluded what he was trying to do with that book, even though he kept on writing it. But that's a great run.
I liked his run on Young Justice even.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun to read.
See, that's what I mean. The man doesn't leave a book.
Yeah.
And that's why I guess I get annoyed about the people who just stay on for 12 issues, because I'm like, well, so what? I don't care. I can name you 10 writers who stayed on for years, Show me that you can do that and that you have enough stories to do that.
Unless they only have one good story. I mean,
I guess that's true.
If we... As much as I love people staying on titles for years because I love the consistency, I hate reading crap too. So it's like, Peter, if you have 12 issues of X-Men to write, and then Shane, you have 12 issues, and Matt has 12, and Adam has 12, I would rather read 4 years of great X-Men by 4 different people than Peter stretching out for 2.5 years and giving me 1 good year and a year and a half of crap.
Yeah.
because that's what happens a lot of times too. And it's like, well, if you ran out of ideas, tell your editor and then get somebody else in the book, because there are so many people out there with good ideas for comics. Give somebody else a chance if you're dried up, you know.
And I guess that's why such things like Starman and Preacher and Swamp Thing and
Have ends.
Not only do they have ends, but because it's one writer's vision.
Right.
That you could never get anybody in there to write it because it would just feel weird.
Right.
Whereas X-Men, Hulk, Aquaman, Justice League, they're going to be around forever, you know. So you can stick anybody on there, and half the times they do, and that's why you get the ups and downs.
Okay, well, let's move on to the last part of his email. The thoughts on Justice League Unlimited cartoon?
Kicks
Love it.
ass.
Love it, love it, love it.
Yeah, I think the entire room probably does. Do you watch it? Yeah,
I
you don't watch it. Yeah.
No. Cartoons. I just
Cartoons.
can't get into them. I try. I mean, I've seen a few episodes with these guys, and it's fun because you see the different characters and all the B-list people and stuff, and that's cool.
We spend a good 2 hours watching a half-hour episode when
Yeah,
Peter
I don't
wants
want
to
to
know
remind
every
myself of
single
that.
I was
character.
gonna say, that's the only time I hate watching it because people's
Oh,
like,
I
"Why is it?
love
Who's
it.
that? Who's that right there?"
I love
An
it.
hour of my life I'll never get back.
No, I
rewind
love
it again. Rewind it again.
Do it.
Rewind it again.
Do
Rewind
it
it
all.
again.
It's not
great.
that bad.
Yes, it was.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's that bad, but I enjoy it.
That was that one episode. That's because it had like 50 characters.
That was the first one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but still, I love what Peter does.
You got to see Buwana Beast on TV.
Yeah.
And he
I mean,
spoke.
Yeah, really. Red Tornado, all of them. Yeah. I mean, yeah. And,
They just had a
Sweet.
vigilante
yeah.
on last night.
Yeah.
And it's like he said, it's really got a theme going, a bigger story.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
Just so good.
Just waiting for it to
does
keep
seem
going.
to kind of mirror what's going on with Crisis. a
Well, you
little
know,
bit.
at the show, Dan Didio did touch on that, and somebody asked if that's planned, and it's very coincidental. The two creative companies talk about things that are happening, but no one plans to put Crisis on Infinite Earths here and then put this other big storyline there. It just happens that that's what the ideas are flowing between the two separate companies.
Okay.
Any
well,
more emails? Or?
oh yeah, we got another email. Another email from Catherine from Philly.
Hey.
She says it's Nightcrawler German 101 is the subject of her email.
Okay.
She says, here's Nightcrawler's big 3 German words that tended to pop up in every X-book he was in. Ach mein Gott, which is oh my God, Danke, which is thanks, and the word Peter couldn't quite get out, unglaublich, unbelievable.
See, I knew I wasn't speaking out my butt.
She said, Marvel so often misspelled these words that I actually wrote into them as an infuriated German major and whined about it. She said, never got that letter published. She says, episode 30 gave me lots of giggles, dogs, homo overtones, and goof-ups included. Or maybe it was because of them that the episode was funny. She says, keep up the geeky silliness.
That was a fun episode.
She says, oh, and don't think that girls don't talk about which superhero dudes they find foxy. All that spandex and tight buns? Wow.
I know Nightwing is a big, for a lot of times
Really?
the letters, you
Oh.
get letter columns.
That's why
in
you
and-
like it, isn't it? Peter?
No. Nightwing, who's the other one? I remember probably Gambit maybe from X-Men or whatever, but I know Nightwing has a large following.
And we got an email from the guys over at the Digital Strips podcast. They do one all about webcomics, and it's actually quite good. It's an enjoyable show. And it's from Zampson over there. He says, hey guys, I just finished listening to your recap of Wizard World, and I thought it was excellent. I can't believe you guys got to see Batman for free and on IMAX. Very cool. I really enjoyed your coverage and recap. Great work. Well, thank you, Zampson. And okay, here's we'll do one more.
Okay.
Because I still have more, but I'll save some for
Sure,
next time
sure.
because we go on and on and on. It's this one's from Todd Lyles. He says, "Hello, I enjoy what you guys are doing a lot. Keep it up. I thought I might call your attention to an episode of This American Life, a public radio show out of WBEZ Chicago about superheroes. Episode 178 from February 23rd, 2001. Act 1 features the epic question, flight or invisibility? Yet this question wasn't posed to comic fans, but ordinary people. The answers are hilarious. You can stream it with Real Player. So I guess we should check that out. You talk about which powers you would choose in episode 30. Your talk about which powers you would choose in episode 30 is what got me thinking about this earlier radio show. I, for one, would like to encourage further geeky conversations such as these. For the record, teleportation, he says.
That's a
So,
good one.
guys, do you think Iron Man wears like underwear underneath that armor, or
Yes.
any clothes?
I'm hoping
That
so.
was an
Yes.
Well, they show it a
Sci-fi,
lot.
like-
He's always strutting around his bikini
Yeah.
briefs because he just stepped out of the armor.
Come on. When you're as a kid, when you wore those Halloween costumes, if you didn't wear anything under that, forget it. You know, your skin was sticking to that.
Yeah. Ugh.
He does have a website, toddlyles.com, TODDLYLES.com. Thank you, Todd, and we'll have to go check out that radio show.
Gosh,
Here,
I don't
I'll throw out a geek question: cape or no cape?
Cape.
Cape.
Even after seeing The Incredibles, cape.
It's fun. Yeah, capes are fun.
Yeah, and it just adds so much to you. There was a DC comic, Young Heroes in Love. Did you ever read that?
Yeah,
And-
1 or 2 issues, yeah.
And they talk about that. I think in one of they were talking about a lot of geeky subjects about superheroes and whatnot, and they're always, I think they're. Oh, the thing of it is like one of the leaders or something like they say, you're the leader, you have the cape. You know, you have. So I thought that's kind of cool.
Hey, I'd like to give an update. 1 or 2 episodes ago, I informed the audience that in September I will be riding 150 miles. I will be riding my bicycle 150 miles in an attempt to raise money for the MS Society, which will hopefully find a cure. And I asked the audience to donate $1. I need to raise $250 to go on this ride. It's the minimum in pledges that you can have before they allow you to ride. And I asked 250 people to send me $1. I have not gotten one single $1 pledge. What I have gotten is a $3 pledge, a $5 pledge, 2 $25 pledges, and a $100 pledge.
Wow.
So I have to thank everyone who has donated. It's tremendous. So what I'm doing is I'm upping my goal now. My goal was just to get the minimum of $250.
Sure.
I have until September now. I'm stepping it up to $500, people. You're coming through, and it's for a really good cause. And I have to thank everyone who has given me money so far. And again, you don't have to give me $5 or $25. I mean, $1 really is fine. I mean, and the one guy gave me $3, which is cool. It's like, well, he probably was going to put $1, and he went, what the hell, $3? That's the price of a comic. I'll sacrifice one comic for people who are less fortunate than I am. So,
And none of that came from
No,
not
no,
from
nobody
us.
in this
None of
room
them
has
has
donated. I've
Not
noticed
yet.
that.
Well, hey, we'll settle this right now. Does everyone just want to put in a quarter here? And
I mean,
I'll take
I'm
it.
planning on it. I'm
I'll
planning
take
on
it.
it. I just haven't
But,
yet.
you can, on our blog, comicgeekspeak.blogspot.com, there is a link on the side, and that link goes to the official MS Society's website. It's not some, like, CD, like I'm not taking credit cards through my site or something. It's official. You'll see a picture of me and a description of why I'm riding, and you'll see how much money I've raised and what my goal is, and you can, previous pledgers leave, quotes or messages or whatever. So it's all very official. It's not. I'm not stealing the money and keeping it to buy trade
If my
paperbacks
ass is
or
going to
something.
give him $5, he better be on a damn bike riding somewhere.
So anyway, I really appreciate all the help, and anyone out there who has another $1 to give, that would be great too.
That's cool.
Who-
That's really cool.
Yeah. Who?
Do you want to go? I know you haven't looked at them at previews yet, but do you have a previews to flip through?
It's in the other room.
I got one right here.
Shane has one.
Shane has one.
It makes it sound like we carry our previews around everywhere.
you know what's amazing, Shane? You're starting to remind me. Did you ever see what was that movie with Michelle Pfeiffer and George Clooney?
Yeah, where she's got the bag of
Yeah,
everything.
that's what you just have like a huge bag that you
Yeah,
carry.
God, what is that called?
One Fine Day.
One Fine
maybe?
Day, that's it.
Yeah, I got dragged to that as a date thing.
I enjoyed that movie. I enjoyed that movie.
I just opened it up to G Taste, Hiroki Yagami G Taste. It's like figures for her. I don't fan favorite story. I don't even say it's like all
Hey,
these girls with underwear.
What do you
Oh,
guys
yeah.
think of the new
Jesus.
DC logo?
Love it.
Since
Love
they
it.
had that on. I was trying to pick out.
I don't think
The
it needed to be
images.
changed. I think the other one was classic. I think you just you got it's an iconic image unto itself. The old logo. It's been around for 20 years or whatever. Why would you change that?
I
Why
have
would
no
you?
idea.
Everyone recognizes that and knows what it is. I mean, the new one is cool. If it had been around 20 years ago, it'd be fine. But I say, why mess with a good thing?
I
Just
guess
leave it
because
alone.
they have a whole new mentality.
Yeah, screw that.
They want to.
Everyone knows what the DC logo looks like, and now it's changed.
But see, in their minds, they say they don't because they didn't use it as much as Marvel.
Well, that's not their fault. I mean, that's their own fault. They could just
right, and so that's
all
why
they
they
now they
created
changed
it.
So they
too.
made a big deal because Bob Wayne said that in the DC panel before we got the Batman tickets. He says, and we're very excited because we got the new logo, and for the first time ever, we're going to be putting it on the screen, and so people will start to recognize what DC. You could put the old logo on the screen, and people who've never seen it before will recognize that as the logo that is the logo that's been there for 20 freaking years.
I guess
Preach on.
The image that they showed when they were, how they kind of copy Marvel with images from comics.
Right.
I couldn't. That almost looked like the Riddler, but then again, also like Batman, the one where you saw the face with the gritting the teeth.
I wasn't sure what it was.
Because it was pretty much just that, a fist, and I think one other thing. They should have had another couple things.
Well, they didn't want to be. They didn't want to be too much like Marvel.
And then the freaking logo comes up and was gone. Like it faded in and faded out almost immediately.
Yeah, I thought it should have stayed up on the screen
And
just
I was
a little
like,
bit longer.
well, then you made this big stink because he even said in the panel, he's like, before the movie even started, he says, and when that logo comes on, that's your cue to applaud, Well, it came up and we started clapping and everything was gone. And then the movie started and we had to stop clapping, otherwise we couldn't hear the movie. It was like, hey, asses, you're so excited to display this logo and then you put it up there for like a millisecond.
I have to say, that kicked ass how they did the bat insignia with just the bats, and then you didn't even see the title of the movie to the very end.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
great.
Well, when Jeanette Kahn came in as the new, she was the reason why they got a new logo because it just had
Fire
like
her ass.
It was a little white. No, back in the 70s.
Oh, and it's
Yeah.
okay.
They had
her
just
ass
like a
was
little
fired.
white circle that had just like the title DC Comics and National Period,
yeah,
whatever.
National Periodical.
Right, and because she came in
publication.
with such a strong vision of where she wanted her books to go, and that's where they were. She was there for how many years before Paul Levitz took over? So I guess that's why Paul Levitz did that.
I think to me, it's like really big companies never change their logo. Like Coca-Cola has the same logo for 100 years or whatever. And when you get to that point, you don't mess with it. It might look outdated because it's an old-fashioned thing or something, but at that point, that is who you are. Coca-Cola is that logo, And to me, as a comic reader, that was DC.
Well, then what about like Superman? How the S's kind of changed over the years.
Well,
Does
that
irritate
bugs me too. Again, I just think that
sad.
it should just be the same. I said this before. I'm a real stickler for uniformity,
Yeah.
and if I have a couple, trade paperbacks lined up on the shelf, if I have books lined up on the shelf, if I have CDs lined up on the shelf, I think they should all be the same because that's just what's appealing
So
to
it
me.
like irritates you that like Batman started off with no oval, then he got the oval with the yellow behind it. Now he's back without it. That kind of
Yeah,
thing.
it just I don't
It's
know.
always felt like every company,
the-
the logo is the same, but they just tweak the lettering and.
But
a
as a
little bit of
company,
design.
you're messing with your identity, I think, and I think you leave it alone and you let it sink
Well,
in.
they
You
are
start-
going through an identity crisis.
Yeah.
No, that's already gone through.
Speaking of that, to me, in this month's previews, there are two must-buys, especially if you don't have the issues, and one is the Identity Crisis hardcover.
Mm-hmm.
It's real simple.
Two
and
versions of that.
DCB Service has it for 50% off, so
Yep.
you can get it for
And if you're
for
Peter,
12.
you also have all the printings as
Yep.
well
Yeah.
to go along with your.
So that could be had for only $12.50, which is a good deal. And the other must-have, if you don't have the issues, is the Runaways hardcover. The entire first run of Runaways, 18 issues, that hardcover, and DCB Service also has that for 50% off, and that's a good deal because or is it 50 or 45%?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't see.
Whatever, but it's a $35 hardcover, and I think it's 50. I think you get it for $17.50. So, I mean, I've harped on Runaways over and over and over again, and so if you have not read it, if you did not buy the trades, you're getting 18 comics for $17.50. So it's less than $1 an issue. Go buy them. Go buy it, please.
You say about DCBS, the one podcast, either 30 or 31, somebody wrote in that they use mailordercomics.com, which I wanted people to know that is what I use, but I also do use DCBS for things, and both are great. I would recommend either. They're just fantastic. I had to add the Bone trade through DCBS. It was after the orders were in, and I had no problem whatsoever adding extras in. It was great.
What isn't in this previews that
Oh, I
I'm
know.
going to get? I mean, there's
Everybody's,
so much.
and I know Brian, of course, doesn't get comics, but like my order was huge this month.
This is
How about
insane.
yours?
I have a lot of trades this month.
Yeah.
Astonishing X-Men Volume 2
Your
trade
regular
is out.
order, like, is it astronomical this month?
You know what's funny? there aren't a lot of like there's no back issue this month. There's no alter ego this
Yeah.
month, so I kind of stayed away from that. But what they do have, like Brian said, the Infinite Crisis, the Identity Crisis hardcover. They have the Watchmen Absolute. The it's, it's
New
70
Yeah,
Vendetta.
that's just some amateurish, writing.
yeah, just some crap, right?
Hack.
Sure. I'm sure we'll probably talk about that maybe in a future Book of the Month club, because it is such a landmark in
That
comics
means I have to
history.
read it again.
Huh?
I wasn't. I'll be honest with you. I was not impressed with Watchmen.
I was impressed because I was reading it month in and month out, and I'll tell you what, everybody was talking about that book back
Yeah.
then. Even Lem, the owner for Gold, was like, well, he was a little annoyed at it because the Rorschach character is so violent at times, so he kind of couldn't get past that. But everybody was talking about it. Everybody had ideas. They had theories. They even had theories of when Rorschach, his overcoat, the belt, they always were looking for belts or ties that look like scythes. Is that how you say it? That if they, because that was a foreshadowing that character would die or something like that. It was really bizarre. And of course I can't find it, but it's in here somewhere. It's a absolute hardcover.
Well, it's in the DC
Yeah, the
section,
DC area.
Yeah.
Not the action
not
figures.
the direct.
Well, no, I thought it was like near the end of.
Check out like Vertigo area,
No, it's in the. I thought it was in the regular DC section. I don't know.
like the last page of the
Yeah.
regular DC.
Also
universe.
got the latest Essential X-Men Volume 6 is out. I have all those before, so
There it is.
and I'm all read up on them too. So I'm just waiting
Cool,
for the next
cool.
one.
Here it is. It's on page 94 of the previews.
It's like $800 or something.
yeah, it's $75. I think it's marked down 45%, which
Yeah, I
is
think
not
so.
bad.
Yeah.
Celebrate the 20th anniversary of Watchmen. It has 48 pages of supplemental material, and it's like just some sample scripts, the original Watchmen proposal, conceptual art, cover roughs, and things like that. And,
I wonder if that original proposal will include the Charlton characters.
I don't know. But that definitely is huge on my list to get. What else? In Marvel official handbook, they're doing the ultimate versions of Spider-Man and Fantastic Four.
Oh yeah, there's something I'd like to point out is they're doing, of all the Ultimate books, they're having annuals this year because annuals have been dead for a while,
Yeah.
and they're doing it right because all the regular series writers are writing the annuals. Okay, so you don't have these 2-bit fill-in guys who on the street who wrote the issue for a cheeseburger at Burger King. They're actually the real writers. None of the regular series artists are doing the art, but they have good artists doing the art. Again, not some hack who just could scribble something on a napkin. This is like real artists.
No stick figures?
No stick figures. Because that was always the problem with annuals. Oh, they
sure.
wanted me to pay twice as much for a double thick issue, and it was crap artwork and crap writing, and you're like, why am I paying extra for crap? I don't
Or
want
crap
double-sized
storyline.
crap. So this was nice that it's like they're trying annuals again, and they actually got talented people to work on them.
Yeah.
So
They did, in the 80s especially, they meant something.
Yeah.
We got Justice #1 by Alex Ross.
yeah, that's a big
Two
one.
covers.
Written by Jim Kruger and Alex Ross. Art by Doug Braithwaite.
Brian shakes
With
his
Alex
head.
Ross painting over
Alex
top
Ross
of it.
painting
Yeah.
over top. Yep.
So it's kind of like an Alex Ross book, but kind of not. You know.
And it's, like you said, it's got two covers. They're in a 50-50 split. And I think DCBS has this for like 75 cents or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, they
like
do.
so
It's
yeah.
75 cents.
Oh, man. So if you order two,
They'll give you one.
they'll
of
give
each.
you one of each. Because I got the two Green Lantern covers for that. So that's going to be...
Or you could just be good and order one and not care what the hell cover you
But
get.
75 cents, though. Come
But
on.
who cares?
Come
Me.
on.
I'd do it.
What are you going to do with them? You sit them in your box, you never look at them
Kids
again.
used to
If I
read
ever
it more
get-
than once.
If I ever get the house set up I want, I'd have them
The kids would be
mounted
out
on
and
the
you'd use
wall.
their rooms as
That's
comics.
exactly right. If I ever would win the lottery and I
No,
would have
what
my
you'll do
house-
is you'll buy the freaking poster that they'll come out with
No,
2
I don't
months
buy
from
No,
now.
posters.
no, not the
I
big
don't buy
poster.
posters.
No.
Hey, that was a good idea when I did it, all right?
Yeah.
For that hush.
No, I don't buy posters.
I'd like to see posters put in a smaller format, actually.
If you're into... Yeah.
Mini posters.
Yeah, so would I. If you're into this whole Infinite Crisis and OMAC and Day of Vengeance, Manhunter 13 has an OMAC project tie-in, has OMAC on the cover. The new OMAC, I should say. OMAC Project 5. I think one of the JSA... Or no. What am I... There's one story... Well, the JLA has a current storyline about the Identity Crisis. Fallout, yep. There it is. Birds of Prey. That's kind of got a little bit dealing with that. Donna Troy finishes up her miniseries. If you haven't been paying attention to Hawkman, and I'm going to say it because it's right here on the cover, Golden Eagle's back. I won't tell you how, because I don't know how yet, because I haven't read it, but Golden Eagle's back. Charlie Parker. Yay!
The only thing that Golden Eagle means to me is the name of our comic book store. I didn't even know there was a character called that.
Yeah.
I found out he was a Teen Titan and died. Hawkman had something to do with helping him.
Supergirl #1.
Two
got
covers.
The start of her storyline. Written by Jeff Loeb. With art by Ian Churchill. And I have yet to read that Superman Batman, so I'm not sure how that art holds up.
I liked it.
Does it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't like his artwork.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it.
It's a little off. It looks just a little off.
This comes with a 75%, 25% split. The Michael Turner has a 25%.
Oh shit!
So I won't be seeking that out if
I won't
it's
be
not, unless
going
DCB
for
sent it to me. You never know.
Yeah.
Sometimes they do that. Other than that, there's not much else that's really. Adam Strange trade paperback for those of, we've been pimping Adam Strange since I think episode 1.
Yes.
So if you have not read that series.
Now the
It's
trade.
coming out in trade. It's a $19.99 trade, $19.99 trade. So
it's 8 issues.
You'll get a discount. Yeah, it's 8 issues. It is so good, people.
Yes.
So now here's your chance to go get
Yeah.
this storyline.
Yeah, I loved it. And the only other Adam Strange I ever read was when Adam Strange popped up in Starman, and then I saw this and I went, I'll check it out, and I loved it.
I think Adam Strange would make a great TV show if you got a good sci-fi vibe to it, which, I mean, that's what he has, so Sci-Fi Channel should pick something like that up.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And Pascal Ferry's artwork is fantastic.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh, and you speak of, and speaking of that, the writer is Andy Diggle. The other book that Andy Diggle writes is The Losers. It's a Vertigo book. And I bought the issues of that for the first 3 trades, and then I just bought the 4th trade. I just started reading it.
Mm-hmm.
That is a great series, and I have not talked about it so far on this show. And if you're a Vertigo kind of guy and you like reading those, again, all the trades are out. Give it a try. I think you'll like it. It's really good.
Great. That's there's also there's a George Perez DVD.
I saw that.
Did you see that? It's like it's $29.95.
That's not his home porno, is it?
No, God no. I'm probably not gonna be able to find it. I think what's he talk about? Or it was like an interview that they gave him.
I think he talks about how much he wants to whip every fanboy's ass who mispronounces his name.
Yeah, as I just did. I probably owe about $5 by now. Here it is. Oh, that's right. They did a Modern Masters on comic on him. I mentioned a couple episodes ago about they're doing a Modern Masters volume on Jose Luis Garcia Lopez. Well, number 2 of Modern Masters was George Perez. So it's in the studio with George Perez. Sorry. It's a DVD companion. It gives a tour of his studio, step-by-step illustrations as he draws a special issue of Top Cow's Witchblade. It shows him at conventions. There's interviews with like Marv Wolfman, Ron Mars. So this looks kind of cool. That's about it for me, anyway.
Hey, I'll remind the audience that it's less than a month now. It's only like 3 weeks until some of us are going off to San Diego. So if you are going to be in San Diego, please email us because we'd like to meet our fans. And and if you actually live in the San Diego area, maybe you could help us like pick a good restaurant to eat at, or something like that. Cause
somewhere that not every other person is going to.
Exactly. I'm somewhat familiar because I spent a summer there, but it was 11 years ago. Things have changed.
I know you're going to the Baltimore one, and we just got an email from a Baltimore guy, right? That you just read at the beginning of this episode, so that might be cool. And then on the boards, they're trying to get us to go to Toronto. Well, I mean, I said, we should go to Toronto.
Yeah.
But the guest list on Toronto is amazing.
Yeah.
Carlos Pacheco, Erica Durance, Margot Kidder.
Toronto's not that far away.
No,
No?
it's not.
It's like a 5-hour drive or something.
But
It's not
once
that
they
big.
put Erica Durance on there, man, everybody's going to Toronto.
Yeah, but he had some other ones up there too.
Oh, yeah,
Other creators.
They got other guys there.
Go
It's
to
going to be exciting and stuff.
I get to go see the comic.
That must be a huge show. They must. I think it was in August.
Yeah, something like that.
Wow.
I kind of felt like you were going to go, yeah, boss, yeah, boss, yo.
Maybe we need to get like a sponsor to get us
To
to fly us
sponsor.
out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, good luck with that. I mean, I'm all for it, but I don't think our audience is that big.
We could do like what Howard Stern wants to do at the end of his. He was talking
World
about how
tour.
he wants to do like a country tour and stay at people's houses. Like we'll go and stay at somebody's house, do a podcast from their
Hey,
house.
We'll
I would do
never
that. I'm a
come
cheap
back.
bastard. If I don't have to pay for a hotel, I'll stay at somebody's house.
That might be fun.
They might be a little wacky, but hey, we can persevere for a night. You know.
Sure. What else do we got?
I don't know. I thought I was just going to say something, and now I completely forgot.
We got Stump the Rios.
Oh, yeah. We want to do an off-the-cuff Stump
yeah,
the
there
Rios,
you go.
hosted by Adam Murdo,
Oh, crap.
the person who has seemingly unlimited knowledge
He
of
does.
comics.
I know it's scary.
Well, you know what?
Thank
Get
God.
get Adam, Peter, and Jamie of Earth 2 in a room and let them go DC crazy. Whew.
Hoo-ha.
That would be crazy.
Hold on, I have to...
out the trivia game.
Yeah. Well, I wrote it, so I can't.
All right. We can't have Stump the Rios without the music.
Like Club.
Yeah. What if Vibe were a club kid?
All right.
Okay. Well, if we're the kings of DC here, I guess I'll just give you 3 DC questions. It's
Sounds
what I
good.
know best anyway. Okay. Now, we're all familiar with Superman's Fortress of Solitude, which is located. I've never been sure whether it's supposed to be
Arctic or Antarctic,
it's,
wherever.
It's like in the middle of the Brazilian rainforest now.
Oh,
What's
right,
up-
right.
What's up with that? Okay, but my question for you is, what did the Earth 2 Superman call his secret headquarters, and where was it located?
I didn't know he had one.
All-Star Squadron, dude.
Oh, you're right. Oh,
I
don't
know I couldn't get it, but I love when Peter stumped.
No, I don't know.
Hmm.
It's tickling something in there, but yeah, I don't.
Yeah, don't do too much tickling in my house.
It's kind of a cool visual. It's like this big golden doorway set in the side of a mountain, and it had like the old, that's how they distinguish Earth 1, Earth 2, Superman. The S is a little strange and elongated
Right.
at one end. So that symbol's on the door. It was called the Secret Citadel, and it was
Nice.
located somewhere in upstate New York.
Of course.
Nice.
Same where X-Force is. That's where X-Men is. Everybody's up in upstate
It's
New York.
Upstate, right?
That's
okay,
good.
so there's one. Okay, how merciless should I be, guys?
Hey, you know what? When we get together and do trivia, he's merciless on pre-crisis Legion World questions that no one ever gets.
In 1973 issue of Batman, what happened on the second
No,
to last
I've never
page?
done anything like
No,
that.
no.
No, that's cruel.
Oh boy, yeah, I'm not going to be that specific. But
You could always be merciless and then come back next time and be be a little kinder.
Okay, well we'll go with
What's
that.
with
route,
the
okay?
ass whipping?
Just seems the thing to do here. I don't
Okay.
know. All right. So what? Here's one. The first appearance of Felix Faust, which is in an early issue of Justice League. I'm not sure which. Felix Faust had the JLA running around trying to get these 3 ancient artifacts to conjure up
You
these
son
the
of a
Demons
bitch.
3. Name them.
It's.
Jeez.
I'll tell. I don't know the exact name, but it's the bell, the jar, and the wheel.
You are correct.
But what exactly, like the bell of the jar? I'm not quite sure, but I know it's the bell, the jar, the wheel.
Okay. It's the silver wheel of Nyarlath, and the red jar of Calathos, and the green bell of Uthul.
This is
Wow.
I have to tell the audience, he has no book, no notepad,
This is
nothing.
all out of his
nothing.
head.
Unless he has a cybernetic implant,
Yeah.
he's just pulling this stuff out of his head, and I don't.
I go through old issues of Official Handbook and Who's Who and memorize facts for fun.
Yeah, same with me.
Wow,
Geeks.
man!
Well, it's
Welcome to the group, my
Name of
friend.
the game.
Welcome to the group.
You've just been initiated.
hope you survive.
You may
the
have to
experience,
just
right?
say, "Hey, write me up some questions for him."
Yeah, exactly.
All right, one more.
I was
Wow.
on the Penn State Quiz Bowl team once, so I have written questions
There you
before. All right, so one more good DC question. All right, name the 2 French twins who took on the identity of the Crimson Fox.
Fox.
I hate French names, but for some reason I remember these.
Oui, oui. Is one of them Constance?
Yes.
Woohoo! But it'll probably be like Constant.
Yeah.
Yeah, close enough.
I'm not. I can't remember if it's something like. I don't know. To start with a B, the other one?
Oh, close. It was a V.
Vivian.
Right.
Yeah.
Vivian and Constance d'Aramy.
So I got that Bell Jar Wheel one right.
Yeah.
And half of that one right.
Half of that one, yeah. And to
That's
sit here
tough.
and think Adam's like, let's see, another hard DC. Oh, this one. Bloop, and like
Yeah.
3 seconds later.
Jeez.
There's all kinds of little
All right.
factoids out there.
Thank you for that. That's good.
My
Well,
pleasure.
I think that brings another show to the end. If you want to email us, it's comicgeekspeak@gmail.com. And visit our blog at comicgeekspeak.blogspot.com. For information about our podcast and all the other comic book related podcasts, you can go to comicspodcast.com. If you think you can stump the Rios, send us an audio or just a typed up question, Stump the Rios questions. And also you can send us an audio Geek of the Day, which is just like 2 freaking minutes. I even pressed the button, I just didn't press it fast enough.
Get your contest entry in.
Yes, absolutely. Your little one-liner tag for us. Please vote for us at podcastalley.com. And just so you know, you can vote for as many different podcasts as you want. You can just only vote for each podcast once per month. So just click the damn link and vote for us. We're sitting comfortably at number 80.
Nice.
And even though it's towards the end of June now, so we're
Yeah,
kind of in a
that's good.
holding pattern there, so that's good. We are now selling Comic Geek Speak official T-shirts. So go to our website and you can order a T-shirt. $10 includes shipping, so it's cheap, paltry sum. And if you're anywhere exotic in the world other than Pennsylvania, that is, you can send us a postcard because I collect postcards and stamps, so I get like double bang for my buck there if you send us a postcard.
And you if you're a new place, you get a spot on the map.
That's right. We have our world domination map. So even if you're just in another country, just send us an email. It just says what country you're from because we will update the map with your location. And I think that's it. And we'll talk to you next time.
Bye.
See you.
Adios.